Kyler Murray had a huge game. He had a couple of really fun plays. James Conner was running all over the place. Trey McBride had a nice little fumble touchdown. And Marvin Harrison, obviously, you have to talk about him. He had one of the best games of the year, probably, with multiple huge touchdowns, including a great diving touchdown into the end zone. And that was in the first quarter. All of that. So he's officially told the league that he is here.
Interesting stat for Marvin Harrison Jr. He was the first rookie to have that number of yardage and 2 touchdowns in the first quarter of his rookie year since his father in 1996.
Oh, wow. That's a pretty crazy stat.
Pretty crazy.
And his dad's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
What's going on, everybody? You are tuned in to another episode of the Flea Flicker Show. We are your hosts, Fred and Dre. Welcome, Pod. Welcome into the show. Happy to be on here with you. As you can tell, looks like I'm filming my side with a thumb. My camera is from a laptop that's from 2015, so it's dated 10 years old now. Oh, wow. 10 years ago, 2015. That's crazy, but got some Speedy merch on here. It's not our merch, but it is the secondary hat for the Rumble Ponies. But Dre, how you been?
Hello, lovely people. I have been solid. We're re-recording because we had some pretty rough audio issues, unfortunately. So we're gonna plow through this one, and hopefully it'll be okay with some good takes, and we don't have to do it a third time.
Yeah, hopefully it'll be okay with some good takes, and we're gonna go through it pretty quickly. But I just want to point out, obviously it's something we talked about on our last recording that kind of got fucked up, but Tua, prayers out to him. Hopefully he can recover well. For those of you that do not know, Tua suffered an injury in the last game where it's another brain injury, another head injury for him. Hopefully he does what's best for his family. He certainly wouldn't be the only player of his age to step away from the game in the prime of the career. Happened with Andrew Luck, happened with Calvin Johnson, happened last year with Aaron Donald. So people do it Luke Kuechly when they want to step away because of injuries.
Yeah, true. He said that he's not going to step away. Hopefully that is okay for him and works out for his future. He's going to be out for the foreseeable future. He's on IR now, so we'll see what happens when he comes back, and hopefully he stays healthy for the rest of his career.
Yeah. The score is just that he has longevity and health going forward. So, but yeah, let's get into the game action. Talk about some football. This part 2, Thursday night football. The Bills turn the Dolphins into a school of confused fish out there, swimming circles as Buffalo made a splash on the football field. Going right off that Tua conversation there, he came out early in this game, and there wasn't too much that the Dolphins do in this. The Bills controlled the whole game from start to finish. They controlled it defensively. James Cook had a stellar fucking game. Josh Allen didn't really have to do too much. Hasn't really to this point of the year with his task there.
Yeah, I mean, talk about a disaster for Miami. Not only were they completely dominated in every facet of the game by a rival, but their quarterback also went down with a career-threatening injury, like we talked about. So it's crazy times in South Beach. Devon Achane at least looked good. That's about the only plus you can take out of it for the Dolphins. On the Bills side, Bills Mafia, they have to be happy. Like you said, James Cook went off 3 touchdowns, and he cooked in both of my fantasy teams, which I'm pretty happy about. I'm still a little worried about the Bills' passing game with Josh Allen not being able to really figure out his receiving room yet, but I imagine that'll come around at some point. But yeah, Bills trounced the Dolphins, and the Dolphins' season is now in jeopardy.
Yeah, certainly is. And I mean, we both had them pretty high on our lists, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen now, especially since Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle both see about 7 points less in fantasy with another quarterback not named Tua. So hopefully they can turn it around. Hopefully they can right the ship. Jameis Winston is rumored to be on the trade block there from the Browns. So that's surprising. That might be a good get for the Dolphins if they could snag him.
Why would they trade him?
They
might need him.
They believe in Deshaun Watson, I guess.
I don't believe that at all. Don't believe it.
I don't know.
The Dolphins did sign Tyler Huntley, though,
Yeah.
the Pro Bowler. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. He was a Pro Bowler, so I mean, he's got something to his name. But speaking of the Browns, let's move on over to Cleveland. The Browns dug up a win over the Jaguars like a pack of determined dogs, unearthing buried bones on the football field. And it was a pair of bones that they took out from Jacksonville because the Jags were lifeless out there. They might as well have been a pile of bones. And they came to play. They came to party. Much of excitement going on the field. Deshaun Watson didn't light the world on fire. Some interesting points to come out of that game are that Donta Foreman, in backfield and carries. He had 15 carries.
Right.
So he appears to be taking over that backfield until Nick Chubb comes back, if he comes back this season. But yeah, my points to take away from this game: the Browns' defense is good enough, and the Jaguars stink.
Yeah, I mean, I thought this was kind of a boring game.
Yeah.
It was our pooper of the week before it came in, and yeah, it was kind of poop. The Browns defense, like you said, they did solid. The Jaguars kind of just lost the game. They didn't look very good. Brian Thomas Jr. was a bright spot for them. I think he's proven to be a solid receiver for Trevor Lawrence there. But yeah, the Jaguars, a team that is supposed to be looking for a playoff run, their fan base has to be pretty disappointed in right now. They just haven't shown that they can be that right now.
No.
We'll see if they can improve as the season goes on, but right now they don't look like a playoff
Yeah,
team.
right now they look like trash, and Trevor Lawrence looks like not bust, but certainly overrated for his draft stock. Let's go.
Get a payday.
He did get that payday. Usually it seems like after guys get the payday, they end up not performing that great. But
Yeah, it's strange.
out, you get paid and you stop performing. Vegas, though, the Raiders sit on the Ravens like a band of mischief crows, leaving Baltimore feeling more like scarecrows in this game than football contenders on the field. Tough outing here for the Ravens as they gave away a game. I mean, they had most of the time, and then the Raiders came in and they had that comeback win. Gardner Minshew balled out, pulled his inner Uncle Rico, and got Devontae Adams involved. Got the tight end there out of the draft involved as well, and they actually looked like a respectable football team this week.
Yeah, you mentioned it. The Raiders, they pulled off the upset with Devontae Adams and tight end rookie Brock Bowers powering the offense to victory. Max Crosby was powering the defense, of course, making Lamar Jackson run around a little. I say the Ravens are still the better team here, even after getting the Raiders get the win. But the Raiders are going to be a scrappy team all year. They're going to be pushing for a wild card. And teams, they have to worry about them on their schedule. So it'll be fun. Derrick Henry and Alexander Mattison, actually, on the Raiders both scored for the second week in a row. Is King Henry going to be the new bet for a touchdown every week with CMC out? That's my question of the day.
I think you might be onto something there. I think we should definitely pencil him in as an every week scorer. I mean, the Ravens like to run the ball a lot. They had a phenomenal offense last year running the ball. They always seem to plug in anybody, whether it's Mitchell, whether it was J.K. Dobbins when he was healthy. Whoever is back there seems to do well, even despite the fact that Lamar is a running quarterback. So I do think you might be on something there where Henry could be the new guy.
Yeah, and there was one other thing I noticed from this game is that a chain gang crew member actually went down on the sideline, and he had cardiac arrest apparently, and he needed CPR from the team doctors. It's a pretty insane event. All the players were like on their knee for this guy on the chain gang, and yeah, let's hope he gets better.
Oh man, don't want to see that. Don't want to see that at all. Hopefully.
No, sir.
I want to see out on the field.
Yeah.
Moving on over to MetLife. The Jets took off against the Titans like a fleet of determined fighter jets, leaving the Tennessee feeling more like more turbulence on the football field. I think going down flight. Yeah. So
I think it was in Tennessee.
Yeah, and I'm just saying no one, but I don't know what the hell it was.
No.
I don't have the home team written down at all. Home team. I'll look at the home teams right now. There we go. I'll change it up here. I'll mix it up. But yeah, they went into Tennessee. They took care of business. The Browns win, where it wasn't like the Browns outplayed the Jags and did phenomenally well. The Jets just did enough, and Tennessee kind of handed them the win. Tennessee performed well early. They had a couple things going on. Calvin Ridley was beating Sauce Gardner, but Will Levis, again, with a blunder, with an interception that led to a score, and his decision-making to this point has not been great. He's cost his team some drives. He is behind an offensive line that allows 60% pressure rate, so I'll give him that in terms of it's not entirely on him, but he's got to be smarter with the football.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Aaron Rodgers gets his first real win as a Jet in this one, but I didn't think he looked as impressive as he needs to be for this team to truly be a dangerous playoff team. Breece Hall had a pretty sick touchdown catch from Aaron Rodgers in this one. Looked like a receiver out there. Backup running back Braylon Allen, I feel like needs to be mentioned. He had 2 touchdowns on the day, which was pretty exciting for the Jets. On the other side, you mentioned Will Levis. He needs to settle down. He made some head-scratching decisions again. He had the head coach, Brian Callahan, literally yelling, like, what the fuck are you doing on the sidelines? And, he's got to relax for the Titans to really have a chance. He did have a nice touchdown to Calvin Ridley that I thought was picked off when I was watching it live. He just snuck it right in there, and Calvin Ridley was, like, holding up the ball.
He missed another one, too. Nice. He put another one right on point and went right through Calvin Ridley's hand. So, might not have gone, but it was pretty close to it. Would have been a long pass at least. But, yeah, you hate to see that.
Yeah, so Will Levis obviously has talent. He just needs to really get his brain in the right place when he's making these plays out there.
And the Jets, yep. I don't know about you. Kind of a bad look on Callahan to get into the young quarterback squirrel like that because a head coach. For anybody, veteran or young signal card to adjust to a new offense and new coaching structure. College, it was his physical abilities that let him do things on the field that he can't get away with in the NFL. It's your job as a head coach to get him to understand that and to get him to mature and understand the game and its differences compared to college. And getting in the grill and saying, what the fuck are you doing? It's not doing that.
Yeah, I think Callahan probably got used to having Joe Burrow in the backfield. He's one of the brighter quarterbacks when reading defenses, I would say. So maybe that's the issue there. Moving from Burrow to Levis, he's got to really be a little more patient with him. I don't know, but yeah. For the Jets, real quick, some bad news out of this one. They did lose Jermaine Johnson, their edge rusher. He tore his Achilles in this one, and that's big news with Hassan Reddick still holding out. So
Hassan Reddick still holding out, and he's rumored to be in like the beginnings of potential trade talks from the Jets if they can't work anything out. So
they might need him now.
Yeah, they might need him. Give the man his money. I mean, he puts up numbers. You went and got him for a reason. So go ahead and pay him. Let's go ahead over to Minnesota. The 49ers came into and we thought it was going to be a 49ers win, but the Vikings raided the 49ers like a horde of Norse warriors storming a Silicon Valley office, leaving San Francisco feeling more like a startup who has just crash landed on the football field than an actual contender. So showed up. And Sam Darnold, is for as much slack as we've given him, as much slack as everyone else, and seemingly the entire football universe has given him, he's performed admirably. Got marbles in my mouth here. He's performed very well, and Justin Jefferson looks like a stud out there, of course. But he hit Justin Jefferson on a 97-yard touchdown this game, and it's pretty weird to see Sam Darnold looking like an actual quarterback.
It was like one of the best plays I think I've ever seen. And it was good from the quarterback and the receiver. Justin Jefferson's so good. I think he can make any quarterback look amazing at this point. Like, I don't know.
Seriously,
I can't tell if it's Sam Darnold or if it's Jefferson making him that good.
I think it's Jefferson. I think it's Jefferson because Sam Darnold looks like shit everywhere else in his career.
We'll see. We'll see as they keep going on. And if Jefferson plays, I think he will play next week. But he did get a little banged up in this one.
A little banged up.
But yeah, for the 49ers, there was some good news and bad news. The good news, Jordan Mason looks pretty legit after another great week running the ball. The bad news, McCaffrey did go to IR, and they just got beat by the Vikings. So, you win some, you lose some. Debo also looked good out here and also got hurt. So I think there's just good news and bad news everywhere for the 49ers right now.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't bode well for their stretch going forward while Debo's out for a few weeks, while McCaffrey's out for at least 4 weeks, depending on how long his IR stint's going to be. And then Brandon Ayuk has yet to show up this year. I mean, he got paid and he hasn't showed up on the football field. So he has to act like number one receiver, not only in his contract, but out on the field. So until we see something else there, it might be some tough sledding. They got a fortunate matchup next week, but after that, it might be a little bit tough.
Yeah, and for the Vikings, they might be a legitimate playoff threat now with Sam Darnold there at quarterback. And he's changed everybody's views on him. You mentioned it a little, but I think we have to really start questioning the Jets' the Jets in general. Because now former quarterbacks Sam Darnold and Geno Smith, who both got jettisoned by the Jets, are both solid starters in the league this year. So is Zach Wilson going to be next? That's the question.
Another target potentially for Miami.
Oh, yeah. They could make a little trade there. They could probably get him for a 7th rounder.
They could probably get him for dirt cheap. You might as well try. He'd cost more than Jameis Winston, but he's got a strong arm. He's got a good arm out there. He's fast. He can move. So I think he'd fit that offense pretty well. And he has the tools to actually do something in McDaniel's offense.
Yeah, it would be interesting.
But moving on over to Carolina, to the litter box, as I like to call it. The Carolina Panthers took on the LA Chargers. I almost said San Diego there, but in the San Diego Chargers, the LA Chargers. God damn it! I feel like Tyler here talking second guessing, fucking screwing myself up here. But Chargers beat the Panthers 26-3. We knew it was going to be a blowout in this game. Bryce Young possibly going down as, according to many, the biggest bust in NFL history. I don't know. Stephen A. Smith called him the biggest bust he's ever seen. But
that's ridiculous.
He's got a lot of career left to prove people wrong. It's only year 2 for him. Again, I don't know if he's very good, but he could be something somewhere else. I don't know that it's going to be in Carolina. But Andy Dalton is going to be taking over for them next week. And took care of business in here. They shocked the Panthers like power surge in the jungle, leaving Carolina feeling more like a bunch of kittens playing with a live wire on a football field. So they took care of business. Harbaugh starts 2-0. We knew this was going to happen. I mean, the Panthers are a pile of shit, so they're absolutely fucking terrible.
Yeah, they got completely dominated. They looked like dog doo-doo again. Bryce Young, like you said, got benched. His decision-making just cost them any chance of winning this or last week's game. So, yeah, we'll see what Andy Dalton can look like. It should be better next week. The Chargers, though, it looks like they can make some noise this year, surprisingly. I didn't think they'd be any good. J.K. Dobbins is having a career resurgence behind a good offensive line. And, of course, Justin Herbert running the show. They have a solid group in there. And then Quentin Johnston even got going in this one with 2 touchdowns. I'm excited to see the Chargers play some better competition.
Yeah,
but I do think they're going to be looking at a wild card spot possibly.
It's possible, and I mean Harbaugh's got them playing pretty well on both sides of the ball, so it's interesting to see what they can do going forward. Yeah, but like you said, we want to see them play better competition. The first 2 weeks they've had pretty good matchups there, and want to see them really just get an actual playoff team and see what they can do against somebody that actually matters.
Yeah, for sure.
But moving on over to the Seahawks. Were they home? They away?
They were away.
They were New England. Yeah. They were in Foxborough, baby. Fucking New England getting lobster rolls and shit. The Seahawks swooped in on the Patriots like a flock of determined seagulls eyeing a clam bake, leaving New England feeling more like they were caught in a gust of football frenzy out on the field. New England, better than we expected, but still not good enough to take down a good team. So the Seahawks took care of business. We thought it was going to be close, and it was close. It was an overtime game where Seahawks won 23-20. Pretty boring overtime game. There wasn't that much excitement here. There's a lot of kicker action, and honestly, there's not too much to take away. The better team won, and the Patriots are just better than we thought they were.
Yes, sir. Overtime for 2 weeks in a row is good for football fans, although, like you said, this was kind of a boring OT game. Geno Smith got it going. DK Metcalf had a huge touchdown, which with blown coverage, and then JSN, too, had a great day as well. He's on his way to replace Tyler Lockett, I think. It was barely enough to hold off the Pats, who seemed to be better than we thought, but also not all that good, at least yet. We'll see. Jacoby Brissett still holding off Drake May, with Hunter Henry being his big target this week. And Antonio Gibson had a good game as well, and didn't even know he was on the team. So good for Antonio
I don't
Gibson.
think many of us did. Yeah, he got involved with the passing game a lot. I don't think they're going to take over that back, but Ramondre, pleasant surprise there, kind of very surprising for both of us. I do think the offense will look a little bit better once Kendrick Bourne comes off of the pup list as well. He's a pretty good talent. They just gave a long-term contract to, and I think he's a very underrated receiver.
Yeah. Oh,
You tired there, buddy?
Yeah, I agree. I did. I just woke up and hopped right on. Night shift.
Night shift. It's tough. Time with that 2-year-old kicking me in the back of the head. So,
Yikes.
yeah, I'm hanging off my bed every single night, saying I had to pick him up, move him over, and 5 minutes later he's doing the same thing all over again. But moving on over to Dallas, one of our hated division rivals, the Dallas Cowboys. They're taking on the Saints, who were coming off week 1 pretty hot. Lightning in a bottle there for the Saints, but they ended up outshining the Cowboys in Dallas like a pack of glittering Mardi Gras floats, outdoing a lone cowboy on a horseback, leaving Dallas feeling more like a rodeo clown than a football contender out on the field.
Dude, all I can say about this one is like, wow. I was officially completely wrong about the Saints, and this game was fantastic to watch as a Cowboy hater. Dak Prescott once again looks like he's severely overpaid, which is great. And the defense is struggling so far under Mike Zimmer with the switch from Dan. So, yeah, we do have to give CeeDee Lamb his flowers. He's always a stud for him. But other than that, the Cowboys will look just dominated here. Derek Carr on the Saints side looked alive under new coordinator Clint Kubiak. Derek Carr even did a Michael Jackson celebration after running in a touchdown. Like, we can't even recognize this guy anymore. He's having fun out there. Alvin Kamara looked 5 years younger, too, with a huge day, accounting for 4 touchdowns himself. And Rashid Shaheed, as the wide receiver, is starting to look like he could be a true breakout candidate with another huge day. He's a huge target running down the sideline. So
yeah, they're a fun team.
Saints, they're here.
They themselves into contention conversation this year, just after two games. So over 80 points in 2 games. That's pretty fucking wild.
Pretty wild indeed. And I'm so happy that we're against the Cowboys.
But moving on over to your guys, they were down in the capital, the nation's capital, taking on the Commanders. The Commanders edging past the Giants like a slow-moving tank, barely outrunning a herd of turtles in this game. So leaving New York more like they were stuck in rush hour traffic in Jersey Turnpike. So it was not pretty, to say the least. There were some good things to take away, though, for you. Malik Neighbors showed up, and he broke out. He looked very good. Daniel Jones didn't have a terrible game. Put up, I think 21 fantasy points. Not too bad, not too shabby. But you guys still got the L. So it's a little bit bittersweet there for you because I know you're looking for a new quarterback. But tell me, what can you take away from this game for your team?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Giants look better than the Commanders out there for the most part. But honestly, like, we didn't have a fucking kicker, dude. Like, what are we doing? We literally lost the game by 3 points, and we left at least 2 points on the board because we didn't have a kicker. He got hurt last week. We knew about it. He had a hamstring injury, and we have a kicker literally sitting there on the practice squad, and we did not bring him up because for some reason Daboll thought that the kicker situation was going to be fine. Clearly, you're completely wrong, Daboll, and you need to stop being stupid. Because last week, one of the big issues last week was we didn't have a kick returner because for some reason we thought the kick returner was going to be fine, even though he's been injured all goddamn training camp. And guess what? That bit us in the ass. So can we please not do that in week 3? Can we just have the backups ready if they have to play? So that'd be great.
So I think that if the coaching staff and management do not put that position in place, like they didn't staff a kicker for you guys, and you weren't going to send out the punter, I think the coach should have to go out. The coach should have to go out and just be the kicker on the field. Imagine Daboll sitting back there trying to kick an extra point or kick a 35-yarder. It'd be pretty entertaining to say the least.
He'd pull his hammy fucking trying to kick the ball. Although he has gotten into good shape this year. So
Daboll's kick returner.
Jesus Christ, he'd die on the field. Let's not do that. Maybe Shane.
With the new kickoff rules, I'm not sure, but
true.
Yeah. With With
You
the
just have
old
to
ones, you
slide.
get sandwiched. You get hammered. But
Yeah. I will say, Devin Singletary also looked fantastic in this game, running behind the best O-line I've seen since our Super Bowl days. He looked almost like Saquon out there. Like I was getting flashbacks. I was like, whoa, is he still here? But
would have to
But
get
no,
injured if he was looking like Saquon in New York.
oh geez, yeah, or drop a slant pass. But we'll get to that.
We'll get to that. Yeah.
I'm tempted to want to tank at this point just to get the top quarterback, Cam Ward, Miami, anyone. But no, I need to see some wins at some point, man.
Yeah.
Like I can't go the whole season losing.
Definitely.
Thibodeau and Burns, where the hell are you guys? Like, please come out and play. That'd be fun. I guess we should talk about the Commanders a little. Brian Robinson looked solid, and they didn't score a single touchdown. So they signed kicker Austin Seibert off the couch like 3-4 days before the game, and then he has the best game of his career.
It's 7 field goals.
What the hell? What's going on?
7 field goals.
Who
I
did the
picked him up in
Commanders-
fantasy. I'm like, if they can't convert to the end zone, and this guy's putting 7 field goals up in his first damn game, hopefully it can continue. They got a pretty
Who did
easy
this guy-
schedule going forward for kickers as well.
It's
But yeah,
ridiculous.
not to harp on that too much longer. Don't want to pour too much salt in the wound. Let's move on over to our game of the week. The Buccaneers into Detroit, and we thought this one was going to be a slugfest and it was going to be a super high scoring, but it was not. It was actually a defensive battle, and the Buccaneers plundered the Lions in Detroit like a crew of rowdy pirates raiding a ship full of house cats, leaving Detroit feeling more like they were a landlocked town in a sea of football chaos on the field. So, don't really know what I'm saying there with the last part, but anyway, the Buccaneers won. Baker Mayfield balled his ass off. Baker be bacon. He finds ways to win. He wasn't on a connection with Mike Evans this game, but he still found a way to get the win and grit it out. I used to be a Baker naysayer, but I'm a Baker believer, baby. And Baker fucks. I'm on the Baker bandwagon.
Hell yeah, I love it, man. Like you said, it was a little more defensive than I was expecting, but that's good, honestly, for both teams that are looking at playoff runs. So you want to have a good defense. Defense wins championships, right? Isn't that what they used to say? But yeah, the Bucks and Baker are now 2-0 with a couple impressive games. Very exciting. Baker to Godwin was the name of the game this week as the running game couldn't get really anything going. Rashad White stinks.
Rin's going to take over that backfield.
I agree. Yeah, I want to see what he can do. But on the other side of the ball, the Lions, Jared Goff, he had kind of an awful couple of picks that really crushed the Lions' chances of taking this one. And with the Sun God having a good day, Jared Goff, he really can't be playing like this against good teams if they want to make another playoff run. So good for the Bucks. Kind of rough for the Lions.
Yeah, and it's pretty shocking for me at this point in this point in the season. It's only been 2 weeks, but you would think that Sam Laporta would be more involved in the offense, seeing how good he was last year, and he's starting off very slow. I mean, he's a mismatch nightmare out there. He had an insane amount of touchdowns last year. Like, he was one of their go-to guys next to the Sun God, and this year he's like invisible.
Yeah, it seems like they're trying to put Jaquan Williams, is that his name, in
Jameson?
more than Laporta or something? Jameson Williams. Like they're trying to use him more than Laporta and just use Laporta. Like he's really good.
Yeah, I mean, they each have their own role, right? So, I mean, if you look at the way Kansas City operates, Jameson Williams should have the same type of role that Worthy's having in that offense. He's a deep threat. He's a speed guy. He's going to take the roof off the top and be able to beat you deep. He doesn't need to be the every single down type guy, but that's Laporta. Laporta can give you 5, 10, 15 yards in increments. Keep him involved, and your offense is going to be better.
Yeah, I expect him to get more use moving forward. I would think.
But yeah, great game. Matchup preview of what it'll look like. Hopefully, if it's a playoff matchup, it's a little bit more offense there. But let's move on. Move on to Arizona. Move on to Scottsdale. The Cardinals soared over the Rams in this game like a majestic bird of prey, outclassing a herd of stubborn sheep, leaving Los Angeles feeling more like they were fleeced on the football field. An amazing performance there by a team that people were really down on. And I know I picked this game for the Cardinals, and you guys gave me shit. You guys said you're fucking wrong. This isn't going to happen. But the Cardinals showed up, and the Cardinals, they put up, dude. It's put up or shut up, and they put out. So they looked fucking good.
Yeah, they really did. Like Holy hell, was I wrong about this one? Have the Rams been destroyed like this in the Sean McVay era at all? Like, this might be the worst game of his coaching career.
Can't recall.
All the Rams' injuries really seem to be affecting this team, though, as the O-line could not block for Stafford. The backs couldn't run behind the O-line. And Stafford, he just couldn't get much going. He's running around all night, and he's not a runner. It's a tough start for a Rams team that's looking for the playoffs. And now with Cooper Kupp going down, I'm nervous that the Rams are going to get left in the dust at this point. Like, they can't do much. Cooper was in a walking boot after the game. I don't know what the Rams did to the football gods, but they need to try to right the ship somehow. Like, start giving sacrifices. Well, like, who do the Rams have to sacrifice to get better at this? Like, maybe it can't be Stafford. They need him. Maybe Stetson Bennett, Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't know, but they got to do something.
Carson
Cardinals-
Wentz is the backup there, isn't he?
No, he's in Kansas City now.
yeah.
It's Jimmy G.
Oh, yeah.
Jimmy G and Stetson Bennett, because Jimmy G was suspended for the first 2 games, so he'll be back now, game 3.
Sacrifice Jimmy. He's too pretty.
He's too pretty.
Yeah.
That's what the problem.
That's the problem.
But for the Cardinals, like you said, they have to be taken seriously now after this game. Kyler Murray had a huge game. He had a couple of really fun plays. James Conner was running all over the place. Trey McBride had a nice little fumble touchdown. And Marvin Harrison, obviously, you have to talk about him. He had one of the best games of the year, probably, with multiple huge touchdowns, including a great diving touchdown into the end zone. And that was in the first quarter, all of that. So he's officially told the league that he is here.
I saw an interesting stat for Marvin Harrison Jr. He was the first rookie to have that number of yardage and 2 touchdowns in the first quarter of his rookie year since his father in 1996.
Oh, wow, that's a pretty crazy stat. His dad's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. And he looks, from what everybody says, Marvin Harrison Jr. has the makings of a future Hall of Famer, but it remains to be seen. He's got a very early in his career right now, so has to live up to it.
He definitely showed it though here.
Oh yeah. And then Kyler Murray in this game, you had mentioned he balled out. His jersey is now in Canton, so he was the second quarterback all time to have 250 plus pass yards, 50 plus rushing yards, and a perfect passer rating. Who was the guy? It was Anderson from Cincinnati in 1977, I believe. So that's pretty rare company. I mean, he's one of 2 to have that feat. Yeah. So congrats on going to Kent for something.
Congrats going to Canton, baby.
Yeah. But I realized I did skip one of the 1 p.m. games, and that is the Packers taking on the Colts in Green Bay at Lambeau Field. Excuse me. The Packers beat the Colts in this one 16-10. They were looking like the Cheeseheads are spreading some extra luck out on the field. Like they were putting together a cheese board, a charcuterie board out there, and just spreading some cheese, I guess, because they should not have been. Well, look, with Willis as the quarterback in this game, you should not have won. But the game script played for them to win. It was just their defense needed to step up and stop the Colts, and then they did. The Colts didn't score a touchdown until the 4th quarter, so they stopped the Colts, and they operated strictly with the run, and Jacobs had a phenomenal game. The game script played for them, and good for the Packers for squeezing out a win without Jordan Love.
Yeah, I think my takes on this one were pretty solid before the game. Jonathan Taylor, JT, went off for the Colts, although it wasn't enough. And Richardson made some crazy decisions that really took away from the Colts' chances of winning this one. So he's going to be a very volatile game in and day out, game in and day out, whatever.
My stuttering's rubbed off on you.
Yeah, I guess so. But yeah, so the Packers, Matt LaFleur, he called a very conservative game, but there's some like trickiness to it. And I thought Malik Willis did a great job just not making any mistakes. And like you said, letting Josh Jacobs taking over the game on the ground. So we'd like to see Jordan Love to come back and make the Packers once again one of the monsters of the league. But I think this should cool off Packers fans' minds about the quarterback, at least for the short term. And also, did you see the Packers center puke on the ball before hiking it to Malik?
I did. That's disgusting.
That's crazy.
Disgusting.
So, I mean, nasty. And then after the game, I guess Matt LaFleur asked him like why he didn't throw it on that play because he was supposed to. And he was like, dude, he puked all over the ball, man. It's ridiculous. So
That's gross.
It's ridiculous.
Gross. Just leave it like that. But yeah, let's move on though from Lambeau going over to Denver, the Mile High City. You had Bo Nix, Sean Payton taking on Mike Tomlin and Justin Fields. Seems like it'd be exciting.
Wow.
Seems like it'd be an exciting game there with two legendary coaches, two young athletic quarterbacks, and it was not exciting. It was a 13-6 game. The Steelers hoovered the Broncos in this one like a team of well-oiled machines taking on a herd of stubborn mules, leaving Denver feeling more like they were kicking against the iron on this game, on the football field in this game. So really not a whole lot to take away. Just Justin Fields did enough to not make mistakes and get the win, but he didn't look all that great. I still think this offense is going to function so much better once Russell Wilson gets there and is able to help them out there. Have a lot more command of the offense.
Yeah, the Steelers are 2-0 now, and the defense is looking like it could be one of the best in the league. But the offense still looks kind of like one of the worst in the league. So, yeah, they're making mistakes, which is crucial to keep the winning streak alive for the Steelers. And on the Broncos side, they just really couldn't do anything against that defense, with Bo Nix looking very confused most of the night, especially with Sean Payton's very wild schemes. There was one point where I saw Bo Nix in the huddle, and he was rattling off this play, and he had to just keep looking down at his play call, and it literally took 30 seconds off the clockers. It was crazy. It took so much time, and all the guys were just looking around like, dude, is he going to get this out? And Sean Payton, I think you have to dial it down a little bit. He's a rookie quarterback, so let's let him learn, and hopefully the Broncos can figure it out soon because, yeah, they're losing.
They are losing, and
I saw people saying that Bo Nix was a bust already in
stupid.
week 2 of his career. Relax, guys. He's got time. Let him flesh out his career.
Yeah, the only Broncos fan I know is Liam, and he's a believer in Bo, so he likes Bo. Yeah. So good to have at least some belief there. I think Bo's gonna be good. You think Bo's gonna be good? It's gonna take some time. Not everyone's going to come out of the gate like C.J. Stroud, and I think that's the problem. People saw what C.J. Stroud did last year as a rookie. They saw what RG3 did as a rookie. Not every rookie is going to be out of the gate fucking baller. Look at Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning had so many mistakes his rookie year. Threw a ton of picks, and he went on to be a Hall of Famer. So, doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't have to happen overnight. And the Broncos' window is not where they need him to be a success right now. So let's move on though. Moving on to the defending Super Bowl champion Chiefs. They at Arrowhead taking on their rival Bengals. Joe Burrow coming in. He needed to have some type of success here this game after a rough week 1, and he did have success in this game, but not enough to get the win. The Chiefs edged them out 26-25. They narrowly escaped the Bengals like a cat tiptoeing past a herd of sleeping tigers, leaving Cincinnati feeling like they were catnapping out in the field here today. So, it was kind of a tumultuous game here where the Chiefs, again, can get the benefit of the doubt from the refs. The whole league thinks Chiefs got the refs in their back pocket, and it was pretty evident here. There were some calls that were a little bit iffy. I do think at the end of the game, the one that was called the one that was called for pass interference could have gone either way. In terms of what that was, if it wasn't called pass interference, I think that would have been fine as well. One of those flip a coin type calls. But Chiefs managed to get the win. Some bad news for them though. Isaiah Pacheco going on the IR after this game. They already had Hollywood Brown going on the IR as well. So pretty tough for them.
Yeah, it was a brutal loss for the Bengals. Makes me question once again if the NFL is just kind of making the Chiefs win games. But Burrow did have a good showing, like you said. Mike Gesicki actually went off a little bit here, which is fun to see. And Filipino Andre Iosivas caught 2 touchdowns. Our friend LJ, friend of the pod, he was very excited about that.
Yeah, and LJ is the one that informed me he was Filipino. I didn't know if the guy was Spanish. I didn't know if he was Greek. I thought it was just could have been a lot of different ethnicities. And LJ said, you know what? Well, if they're ethnically ambiguous and you kind of think they're Spanish, they're probably Filipino. And he was right. So
legend, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Chiefs did pull it off with Rashee Rice having another big touchdown. The tackle Wanya Morris got a touchdown catch in there, which was kind of fun to see. I like when the
It's
big
always
men
nice
can score.
when the big guys get.
Yeah, and then there was a lucky fumble touchdown, of course, as well, and then that pass interference that you mentioned. It was a tough break for the Bengals. Everything seemingly went right for the Chiefs yet again, except for the Pacheco injury with the broken leg, which is a tough loss. Pacheco walked off the field on that broken leg. What a
He's
beast!
a tough son of a bitch.
He's gonna be a miss, man. They're definitely gonna miss him.
He's from Camden, baby. He's I mean, it's right across the river from Philly. Camden's got a tough reputation.
Yeah, he's a tank,
man. Moving on over though to Houston. In the
Sunday night football,
baby. Texans, this is a tough matchup early on in Caleb Williams' career going against a team that has Super Bowl aspirations there with the Texans. The Texans outplayed the Bears in this game like a lone cowboy wrangling a group of confused Grizzlies, leaving Chicago feeling more like they were caught in a bear hug or a bear trap, if you will, on the football field. So this a little bit tough there for Caleb to come out. He looked a little bit better than week one, but he still threw 2 picks. And they didn't really have much going offensively. Their run game is absolutely atrocious. So, yeah, tell me a little bit about this one here, Dre.
Yeah, it was closer than I thought it would be, actually, 19-13. Especially the Texans couldn't get much going on the ground either, with Joe Mixon getting a little banged up. But Nico Collins did make up for that with a huge game in his own right. That put them over the top. For the Bears, like you said, Caleb Williams, another rough outing with some bad throws. But hopefully he gets better with time. Did you see after the game, CJ Stroud was talking to Caleb Williams, and Caleb Williams almost like blew him off?
Yeah, I was just going to bring that up.
I think he's going to take that to heart. He was probably just upset in the moment with the loss and the bad play.
He spoke about it yesterday, and he said that he didn't want to hear from Caleb. He doesn't care for it.
From CJ Stroud?
Yeah, about the advice. He doesn't want advice. He didn't want advice.
Well, that's a stupid thing to say. So hopefully he learns something from that. That's not great. That's not a good look.
Not a good look, especially from somebody who won Rookie of the Year, who took a team from 0 to a playoff contender in 1 year. You can take a lot from CJ.
Yeah, for sure. The only other thing I got for this game is that another chain gang member actually went down in this one, hit his head on the ground and had to be carted off the side of the field. So I'm not sure what's going on with the chain gang.
Yeah, I hope they have a good benefits plan.
Yeah, definitely.
But I'm moving on over to Monday night in Philadelphia, in the city of brotherly love. There wasn't a lot of love for this game here in Philly. So the Falcons and snatched a win from the Eagles, a crafty thief stealing a golden egg, leaving feeling more like they were outsmarted by a flock of clever birds. This game, I don't have a ton of positives to say. I will say that Jalen Hurts looked good. He didn't have a ton of passing yards, but he was very efficient. He had nearly a 77% passer rating, which this is his third game of 76 or plus passer rating. There's only been 2 other quarterbacks in Eagles history to do that for 3 games. So definitely good for him. Good on his part for being efficient there, especially with A.J. Brown out of the game and not playing in their grasp, and just for whatever reason forked it over. Like it was baffling to throw it on 3rd and 3 at the Atlanta 5-6 yard line when you have Saquon Barkley and Jalen Hurts there that could just pound it in easily. At least do the tush push. Like you're going to get 3 yards in 2 tries with the tush push. So puzzling decision there. I did see upon replays that they did do a hard count and they did get one of the defensive linemen to jump off sides, but the Eagles offensive lineman just stuck it and didn't flinch at all. So the refs didn't see it. That's not that. Like you guys are all veteran linemen.
Did you enjoy having Jason Kelsey there talking about? He was there for the game, wasn't he?
He was there for the game. That was pretty cool though. I saw an ad where he forgot his shirt for Monday Night Football. He forgot his luggage and he had to go pick one up at Lululemon, which I don't know why you would pick up a dress shirt at Lululemon, but he did, and it was too small.
Maybe.
So it was like all popping out. The buttons were like you don't want a shirt's too small and the buttons so you can see the
Yeah.
inside, you can see your chest. He was doing that on live television. Yeah.
Hilarious.
So they did an ad this week where Big Dom, again, Jason Kelsey forgets his shirt, and Big Dom goes ahead and says, "I got you covered, your family," and gives him a Philly South Philly, which is just a tracksuit. So, yeah, I thought that was pretty good, funny, and some lightheartedness there. But they ended up coming away with a loss, which you never want to see.
Yeah, for the Falcons, I mean, Kirk Cousins, man, fourth quarter comeback in prime time. That's Kirk Cousins we don't always see. He's had struggles in the past in prime time, so that was good not for you, but for anyone else watching the game, that was good. For Kirk Cousins looking good, Bijan looking good, AJ Brown, really, you mentioned it, he might have been the difference here if he was able to get in there and play.
For sure.
So, I mean, yeah, I did see Giants fans talking shit because Saquon had that drop pass that could have won the Eagles the game. That's saying how, oh yeah, you guys, how do you think about Saquon now? Have fun with those drop like, come on, dude. Saquon's crushing it. Relax. We lost. We can't shit talk.
Like he was still a fucking stud in this game. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was tough. It'll be tough to go into next week against the Saints as well. We're averaging 183 yards, I think, on the ground, and the Eagles have gotten torched 2 weeks in a row on the ground. So, 300 plus yards on the ground 2 weeks in a row, and yeah, it doesn't look well. Alvin Kamara probably is going to have a day.
Yeah. Well, I got to go move my car, so I'm going to preemptively say peace out, and I'm going to let you finish it out, baby.
All right. I'm just going to rip off our standings from this week for the guys. So LJ is coming in on the top again 2 weeks in a row, starting off 10-6, followed by myself at 9-7. Adrian is 6-10 this week. Ty is 6-10, and Josh is 5-11. So pretty rough for those back three there. Going on the season standings, LJ's at 24-8. I'm at 18-14. Dre is at 17-15. Josh is 16-16, and Ty is 15-17. So, got some to make up, especially there to catch LJ, who even the second place guy being myself, he is 6 games in front of me. So, that man is starting off the season hot. But that is a wrap on another episode of the Flea Flicker Show. Make sure to like, subscribe, follow on Apple Podcast, on Spotify, wherever you get your entertainment needs. Check out our store. I've got the Etsy store up with some hats, with some sweatshirts, with some t-shirts. So make sure to get the swag and check it out. Later.